Beautiful. Alright, let's get the show on the road. So, I just wanted to start this little stream with a quick note from yesterday. There was a problem. Well, the projectiles wouldn't hit the terrain, and they wouldn't get detected by the terrain collision either. So, what I discovered shortly after, right before I called it a day, is that I have to set the density of the collision object in order for it to basically be detected as for it to detect collisions. So the terrain wasn't recognizing these collisions. So what I had to do is I actually had to take my projectile, and I had to set the density to some sort of a value in order for it to count it as, you know, a solid, and process my collisions. In any case, so now I have collisions happening on the enemy when you bump into them and when you shoot it. So now I can accidentally bump into this guy. Whoops. Shoot that guy and bump into this guy. I can still move them. And that is unfortunately because the density has been set. But I'm pretty sure I can keep them in place if I, let's see, I can keep them in place if I go to the enemy object, and in the step event I also set, not only do I set the velocity, but I also set the phi position X and phi position Y. If I set those two with, say, the position start X and start Y, I'm pretty sure then they'll be immovable. Let's try it out. That's what happens when you give an object a density more than 1. It just automatically becomes a movable object. But if I set it to 0, there you go. It's pretty cool. Now there's a bit of an artifact there. Oh, that's pretty cool. As soon as they detect a collision with anything, I'm pretty sure that's the case. Let's see. I gotta do something about this. Oof. Something about them getting stuck in the corners. Like that. See, it's the rotation. The rotation is also moving the thruster orientation. However, I mean, that shouldn't be the case. Oof. Should be pointing the thrust towards me. As you can see, it's flying around. Another thing that I wanted to give a quick try is, and this is a totally other end of the spectrum, is in the particles. Let's see, we have the alpha. 0.6, well, 0.8. I want to see just a tiny bit more of the fog. I'll at least see what it looks like. Okay. Okay, here's what I need to do. Here's what I want to do. Here's what I want to do with the particle stuff. So, if the particles get stuck, then I want to rotate them. Just rotate them so they would start moving again. So, hold X, hold Y equals X. So we'll say this: if the new detection is true, and displace timer, or stuck timer, I should say, set it to 0. Actually, set it to room speed multiplied by, let's see, 3 seconds. Should be okay. All right. So we'll say, if this thing is true, rotate if stuck. So if old X equals X, or old Y equals Y, then we'll say stuck timer. If stuck timer is above 0, we'll go ahead and do stuck timer minus minus. Else, we'll say we'll need to apply some torque. Physics apply torque. Now let's apply what, like 1,000? That should, well, we'll see what it looks like. So after we apply the torque, we'll go ahead and reset the timer. Right, and this will only take place if Either X or Y have been the same for a very long time. Else... Else if they're not the same, so if they have moved, then we'll reset the timer. And let me move this guy back here. I also need to redesign this particular room because it's taking quite a lot of space. Okay. Okay, here we go. Of course, if the other particles displace it, that just kind of helps. I need to find one that's gonna get stuck so I can take a look at it. Okay, there we go. Okay, so it's not quite stationary. It's stuck, but it's not quite stationary, so we can't do a granular check. We need to round it down to some sort of a value. Maybe 5 pixels value, so I'll go ahead and do X divided by 5. We'll round that value and then multiply by back by X. Same thing with the Y. Y and Y. Okay, so another thing is that once we apply the torque, we need to once again write down the new coordinates, new locations. Okay, so there's a stuck guy over there. Or he was stuck. Oh, there's a couple of guys over there. Oh. Okay, so that guy's supposed to move. That guy's supposed to move too. Okay, let's put something much more noticeable. Like 50,000. Okay, come on. No, get off me. No. So here we have a couple of stuck particles. Okay, so they're all up there, aren't they? Of course they're all up there. Okay, there's one right there. Of course, there's one over here. Set gravity to 0 so I don't move around so much. Okay, so something's not quite working. I need to draw a bunch of stuff. Draw text x, y minus 60, and we'll say stuck plus string and show the timer. We'll see how it plays out. Let's put on some music. Okay. So stuck timer. That guy right there got stuck, but the timer is being obscured. And I'm pretty sure the rest of them are somewhere up here. There's one. Man. Not very useful when it's obscured. So let's go ahead and maybe put it in the draw and event. So it draws on top of everything. Draw and. There we go. Okay, so there's a stock specimen that should be counting down technically. Could be that I'm not rounding down this value as well. Maybe I'm actually checking I'm checking the wrong type of data. I'm checking it the wrong way. So how about this? We'll do the following. If old x minus x, and we'll say it will be the ABS, so the absolute value, regardless of whether it's positive or negative. If it's below 10, or same thing with the y, then rotate stuck objects. Right, then we'll do this thing. I have no idea how missing this thing did not give me an error. It's kind of weird. Alright, now let's wait for that first stuck object. They're all going up there. Something about the physics. Yeah, there's something about the physics torque. Okay, one more time. If old x minus x and old x being the x and y, but that wouldn't be updated, would it? That's right, I still need, after every single time, because it's only recording the initial start position, we need to update it here. Because of course it wouldn't be, it would never be below 10, because it's always the initial position versus the current position. And we need the last current position just like that, as you can see. So 10 pixels is too much. How about we'll do 5 pixels? Or even like 3 pixels. It'll probably be even smaller than that, come to think of it. Okay, so there's one right there. And it's not counting down. This one's counting down, but it's not doing it correctly. If the difference between the old x and the new x is less than 3, or old y, new y less than 3, then we're not moving. And we'll start counting down the timer. When it reaches 0, we'll apply torque, we'll reset the timer, and we'll record a new position. This should be working. Okay, I gotta do x plus old we'll do old x. So now we'll do y and old y. So now we can track what's the old and new coordinates. Now we just have them bouncing around everywhere. It's just a never-ending torque fest. Oh jeez, come on. Jesus. So much stuff moving around. Okay, so that guy over there is stuck. It's not counting down. There's 3 of them being stuck. Okay, so how about this? Instead of tracking the X and Y, not offset, it's X difference and Y difference. So I gotta calculate this. The absolute value of old X and old Y. Okay. So here we have... Interesting. Okay. There's too much torque, though, with these particles. So let's turn it down to maybe 1,000. We just need to nudge it. See, if we apply too much torque, then it's just gonna get stuck in this never-ending revolution. Okay. Okay, yeah, seeing that this is above 3 is actually kind of meh. So technically, actually, what we're calculating here is pretty much the speed. Checking the last position. This value is totally wild though. Y difference is not getting calculated there. It's not getting updated. Oh yeah, that's right. We need to do this regardless of whether the distance is bigger or smaller. That's the thing about it. Well, there we go. Now that's correct. So now if any one of these gets stuck, like that one, it's gonna get turned around. Except the torque is not enough, so... See, now I gotta either apply the torque, or I gotta turn the actual object around. And something tells me that turning the object around is gonna be better. I don't want these particles getting stuck. Are you seeing this? They're accumulating the physics. They're accumulating their physics position. So that's something that I need to change as well. No, it says right here. Physics linear velocity y set to 0. It's kind of weird. New detected. Starts at false. And that's why we set physical linear velocity to 0. Okay. So, yeah. See what it says? It says, Y difference. Actually, you know what that could be? That could be just because I need to use the physics position X. Physics position Y. That could be it. And I gotta do the same thing here. Hey, okay, so it's looks correct now. Okay, here we go. Okay, so here's what I'll have to do. I feel like instead of using torque, I'm just gonna have to do physics. Phi rotation will be plus equals 180. I needed to basically turn around in the other direction. The physics torque does not seem to be running quite right. So now we gotta wait for one of these guys to get stuck. Okay, here we go. And turned around, and that is now working. Okay, here's another one. Bam. Okay. So that's actually doing the job a lot better. Here's another one. Right there. And there we go. So now he gets himself unstuck. Now I need this maybe to even be 1.5 seconds timer. So 1.5 seconds. So that they get unstuck quicker. Okay. It has a certain unpredictability to it. But here's what I want to try out. Instead of setting... so here's the local force. Instead of setting the speed to be a preset value, how about the speed will be the space between this guy, so x and y of the particle, and the x and y of the player. You know, that could also be doing something. Maybe me be using the x and y of the player, not physics x and physics y, because that might actually be returning the wrong coordinates. Oh hello. Okay, they seem a lot more aggressive. Actually seem a lot more aggressive now. Oh, jeezums. This is actually pretty cool. So now their speed is dictated by the distance. Whoops. Okay. Oh, come on. I gotta make the mouse limit its its position to the window so it doesn't get clicked outside by accident. Also, my frame rate is terrible right now, just because I'm recording this. Not bad. Okay. What now? There we go. Keep clicking away from the window. You know what else I want to do? I want to set up a collision event with itself. Whoops, not the eye, sorry. Collision event with enemy particle. And when that happens, I want the near detected to be set to true. So that if you hit one and it hits another, that another one is also going to get agitated. So now it's like a chain effect. Right? Right. I gotta keep away from that one and wait until one of these guys bumps into it. There we go. It's working. I like it. And it's so spastic. It's all over the place. I like it. Unpredictable is what it is. It has an interesting, like, wavy movement here just because of rotation. Oops. You know, I might have to, okay, I just might have to make the shooting to be independent from the flashlight. It's not fast enough. So we say flashlight angled, so this should be shoot angle X, or actually just shoot angle equals point direction physics position X, physics position Y, mouse X, mouse Y. So the shoot angle. It's kind of important. It's important for you to be able to shoot where the mouse is, because the time it takes for the flashlight to rotate is not quite the same. Oh yeah, and that's right, the rotation thing. It's supposed to be spawned. Huh. Projectile, wait, projectile X, projectile Y. That's the spawn locations. Where are we getting this? We got weapon angle. Oh, that's what we need. Okay, beautiful. So, are we using this anywhere else? Nope. Okay, so why is it down there? Here's what we'll do. So this is what we need. This angle instead of flashlight angle. Okay. That should be even better. Okay. So it's working. It's just that the distance need to be maybe about 100 pixels. Ooh. Jeez. Excuse me. There we go. There we go. Okay. So let me just test this guy out. Okay, so this guy seems to be shooting right where the mouse is. It's interesting, the distance from the player setting the speed. Setting the speed of the projectile. There we go. Ooh. Unpredictable. Just out of curiosity, if I take, let's see, if I take this guy, place it here, well, whoops, and I take a bunch of these guys, place them around here. As long as they don't collide, they should all stay there. But if I shoot one, then it should bump into all the other ones. Just like that. There it goes. And there goes that one. Oh. They go right for you. It's awesome. Okay, oh. I ended up hitting this guy, I think. Get away from me. Oh, Lord. I don't have any relief code yet. Oh. Oh, no. Yep. That guy got triggered. Oop. Might as well. Let's get out of here. Ooh. Hello. Alright, so that technically works. So I'm pretty happy with these guys. There's still like the death mechanic that I need to put in, but we'll get to that point once we get to that point. First of all, the first few levels are basically just atmospheric levels, and here's what I need to do. I need to make a sprite. SPR cam view. I will make that sprite, resize all frames. I'll make the canvas as what's the resolution of my camera. I need basically a viewfinder. Camera create. Right, 2880. So that by this, apply. So this is the size of my in-game view, and what I want to do is I want to make a square about the size, yeah, about yay big. So I need to make effectively just the viewfinder, as I said. I'll make a new asset layer, and I'll drop in this guy. So now this actually tells me what is the size of the camera, or what's the view that I'm looking at. And the view right now has to be smaller than this. So I'll have to get rid of these things. This is the first level after all. And I'll have to make the level according to... Okay, these things might be able to remain the same. But the tiles, I have to make a bit different. So first of all, this whole area, the spawn area, is about yay big. Just a little bit. Yep. That's all it is. So player 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we don't need that area up there. That area is pointless. Let me lock the asset layer. Okay, this is kind of pointless. Why am I able to select the asset layer stuff? Okay. Layer, fog. Okay, come on. It's one of these things. Oh, it's an asset. So, yeah, these are assets. Jeez. What am I doing? Okay, so this is the real size of this land, so to speak. Now, I need to decorate the ground as I had with the other one. And I need to find a way to fit in 4 players here. So I need like 4 ditches, so to speak. And we'll do some clever obscuring in order to get the players nice and hidden. So we'll go to instances. Technically this is level 1. Level stuff 1, level stuff 2, level stuff 3. Okay. So here's what I have to do. I have my level assets. These are collision units. And I need to use these pieces, these quarter pieces, to make, well, basically something like this. More or less. So if I go to the player and I'll drop in my spawn point, that's where the player has to spawn. I might even make some just dummy objects just for placing the player there, so I don't have to use the grass sprite for it. That might be a good idea, actually. Alright, so there you go. See, that's how I want the player to start, in that little ditch. And then we can get out, just like that. So, let me go ahead and do that as I said. OBJ block black. I need to get myself level assets, black tile. Almost. It's not quite what I need, but let's do SPR black 32. Just color it black. And if I take object black, I can drag and drop this guy in here, go to physics, define the shape, and perfect. That's the perfect shape that I need for it. Collision group 1, density of 0, so it becomes stationary. Okay, so let's go over here, and instead of, let's see, instead of these two objects, I'll go ahead and use my object black. As a matter of fact, you know what I can do? How about I'll make it gray, but I'll make it invisible, so that I can see it in the level editor. So there, and I'll go to my object black, make it not visible. So now I can see it, just like that. Oh yeah, and one more thing. Middle center for the pivot point, so that it rotates around the centerpiece, just like that. I can scale it like this, copy paste, rotate, compile. Almost. So why are we falling through? We shouldn't be falling through. Could it be because I've set it to not be visible? Oh yeah, use physics. That has to use physics. Gotta make sure this is clicked. Start server. Here we go. Beautiful. It's nice and stationary. Now, I want to... This is the level stuff, so I want to move this to the bottom layer. And in the top layer, I want to obscure it with this piece. So what I'll do here is I'll basically put in some like this, make sure that the black tiles are also being obscured. I'll effectively put in some whatchamacallit, some debris, right? Rocks, blocks, you know, all kinds of stuff, so the player can break through them. So let's say space rock, and I'll make it nice and small. Here we go. Like that. I'll need to also get into the practice of setting... Oh yeah, that's right. Hold on, I can't use the Damn, I can't use this because this is a collision object. This is where I actually need to use the asset layer, because if it's a collision object, then the player is not going to be able to break through it. So I need to use just a regular sprite of the same, not the object, but the sprite, and put it on an asset layer, just like that. See, just like this. And I can break through it and get out of here. Right. It's pretty cool. It's already looking nice. Okay, so I want to take these two as well. So we'll, since this is an 8-player game, we'll have 1, 2, 3, and 4 4 spawn places down here. This guy here could use a bit of a shrink. And I'd say so is this guy. Just a touch. Maybe even kind of inverted. Okay. As long as I don't forget which ones are the assets and which ones are objects, and I don't start copying assets and making the entire level out of those, I think I should be okay. Right. Object player spawns, so this I need to drop into the player object. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if 4 players start the game, and then 4 players are going to spawn there. Right. I do need to make these debris items though. I've yet to build them. Alright. So once again, I'll need to grab the asset. Put the asset down here. This one will be the collision object. In fact, you know what I want to do? I want to make this just a tiny bit more transparent so that I could see through it just a bit, so I could see what's behind it. There we go. Just to make sure nothing is kind of sticking out. Okay, this is the collision object. Okay, this has to be an asset. Okay. And now comes the level building. Okay, you know what I'll do? I'll get rid of that tile right there, and I'll go to the asset layer, and we'll put in one of these guys in here. There we go. So this should be okay. I think I'll also have to disable the physics objects here. See, they're sliding off. My scenery is sliding off. But in any case, here we go. There's a little hole over there. I can see it here. Just patch it off just a tiny bit. Okay, I'll move this guy down. And I'll get rid of these 2 tiles. There we go. Lots of work, man. Lots of work in game development. And this is just the first level. this. Okay, I'll need one fade. There we go. Actually, I need a half fade. Nice. So those are those two players. Now we need to do these two players. Like this. And that. Technically, I can get away with just placing an asset. The half piece? Yeah, we can go with the full piece instead of this guy over here. The main thing is just I need to extend this thing so the collision still takes place. Kind of important. Okay, there we go. Okay, not to get carried away. This thing also needs collisions. So we'll do a object half. As a matter of fact, this thing needs to be... Wait, this is a collision object, right? No, that's the asset. Why was it still selected? Okay. Beautiful. Let's make this a half piece, actually. I'll need the quarter fade. Well, this is not the most intellectual job right now. The top piece. Let's go with a full one, no fade. This is gonna take a while. Yes. Jeez. Okay. Here. Let me finish this area first before moving on. So I need to hide 2 players here. Can we push this to the bottom? I'm sure we can. That's the creation order. That's the properties. Yeah. There we go. That's what I need. See, this is actually the kind of point where having a team would be great, because I could be working on other enemies or programming or, you know, anything else. But now I have to do this basically equivalent of manual labor. It's easy to see why some devs want to do procedurally generated levels. But as I've stated before, it takes a lot of work to make a good procedurally generated level system. Okay, so if I enable this guy, I can see what is this line going through the center? Is that in the sprite? Camera. Oh yes, it is. Where did that come from? I could make like safe spaces and composition marks on this too, so that it shows all of the information you need to design a good looking scene. So plenty of uses. Okay. Okay, and on this, gotta put in my sprite, right? Oh, yeah. Let's do a quarter piece. Like that. And put in a black tile there. Lots of work. Okay, let's compile. I could put in some time into making some sort of a level building tool. Not a system, but a tool. Oh yeah, and let's make sure this thing's not on. Just like this. There's a black blob over there that I can see. Okay, and this is where you would meet up with your friends. What is that? Okay, first of all, get rid of this. Stretch that. Yeah, it's this thing. Substitute it with level assets. No, not that one. Jesus, god damn it. Ugh. Okay, level assets, forest, with this guy. Yeah, okay. That looks better. Okay. You know what would be even better? If I can get my Patreon to the level where not only can I pay for my bills, but I also can hire somebody, then that Patreon will basically pay for some extra labor, regardless of the project that we work on. That'd be pretty damn cool. Okay, here we go, and that's where the other players are gonna get spawned in. Excuse the frame rate once again. Recording. Okay, and there's the hole for the other player. And I'm stuck because I went in head first. Okay. Yeah, don't go head first. Luckily we have a respawn button. And we'll have a tutorial here, WAS or WAD for movement. Oh, there's a little block right there I gotta get rid of. Oof. You know what it also could be? It could also be that that the physics, there's too many physics objects in here. Could very well be that. But I believe I prepared for this moment. So we'll have to say there's an object in here. There we go. Terrain. We'll drop it in here. So object terrain 1. So what we have to do is we have to say the following. Steps in the step event. We'll say if we have to get the view height and width. So what we'll basically do is we'll say if this object is within the view of the camera, only then enable the physics. So if x is bigger than view x and right, so it needs to be inside, so and view x, and by the way it's not supposed to be x, it's supposed to be physics position x since it's a physics world, and physics position x is below view x plus view width, and physics y below or above view y, and physics y below view y plus view height. Then we'll say physics active equals true. Else physics active will be equals to false. Alright, you know, this could be a single line. Okay, so I think view x plus width, view y plus view height. So I think that should do it. So physics are working there. Here's how we can test. So I'll push this guy off. Now fly off the screen like this. So technically the physics should now be disabled on that object. If we wait in here for a little bit, no, not that object, the terrain. The terrain, it should be disabled on the terrain. So if I go back now, we should find that object either flying somewhere or getting stuck. Okay, not quite. Still there. Well, the rock is gone. There you go. There you go. That's what I was looking for. So we need to disable physics for the objects that are outside of the view. That might save us a little bit on performance. We'll just need to make sure that that's done for all the objects. Okay, and let me go over here. and disable this guy. Get rid of that one tile. Come on. Tile 1. There we go. Oh man. Oh wow. Okay, there's a lot of work to be done. In here. Even more so than Artag. No, I think Artag Rise had way more stuff that needs to be done, level design wise. Welcome to game design. I think it would just be easier to add that tile there. Because of the bright leaf, right? It makes it kind of obvious, relatively obvious, that there's a seam there. So, are you entertained? That sounds like the answer. There's so many games that I want to make. So many ideas I've written down, prepared. Making them alone, though, is a big pain in my rear. Not bad. Oh boy. Okay. Ooh. Get that out of the way. Ouch. This is an exploratory colonoscopy simulator. Okay. So, I guess the start will be more or less cinematic. Okay. That's kind of what I'm feeling. This whole thing feels like we'll have some nice music, some ambient awakening type of tune. need to make sure that it's not just visual, that we actually have a collision point over here. Because if we don't have a collision point, then the players can just slip right through the level. Now the sublayer. That's pretty cool. I should use sublayers more. I feel like organization might be benefited that way. Okay. I want to get one of the player, these guys. I'm going to move them over here. Just so I could test that little entry point. I'm pretty sure I can slip through there. Ooh. Yeah, pretty much. Can't slip through, but I can still kind of make it look weird. So let's go ahead and just put a little collision block over there. Another one here. And these guys are invisible, so that's fine. Like this song. Okay, I gotta put in something more like this in here. Here we go. Maybe even move this guy around a bit. And that one should be fine. Come on, I gotta obscure that. There we go. This guy's gotta go on top. it to look too god awfully blocky, but I don't know. Mm-hmm. It's 5 o'clock already. Holy cow. Man, I gotta get up earlier. Otherwise, game dev until ungodly hours of the night is a dangerous route towards burnout. Oh my lord. You know what I might be able to do? Although, just thinking if there's a more rapid way of doing this. I mean, I can kind of follow the general path here and then adjust things. I can do it in a conveyor belt sort of way. And by that I mean I'll place some of these assets like this in a more loose fashion, and I'll go back around and I'll fix all the stuff that's kind of standing out and missing. Yeah, let me make like a tiny squeeze area there. I think that'd look interesting. Maybe even like put it in like this. Alright, come up with more interesting stuff than just following the brush stroke, the general brush stroke of this thing. I tend to come up with some pretty big games, come to think of it. Like, just big in scale. Sometimes I wonder if Game Maker Studio is even capable of keeping up with my demands. Well, usually it's the other way around. You're supposed to find an engine that is capable of getting what you need to do. But in our case, we kind of work with what we've got. Okay, so here's a problem area. This is the entrance to this pit, which is supposed to be, like, that's the players have to go down here. So the only problem is that it's very hard to see where you're located. So if I take this guy, move him over here, that's the camera view. So once you get around to, let's say, here, you can't see the ground or the ceiling all that well. So you don't know where the hell you are. So I need to shrink this area just a bit. There we go. Okay. So if we drop down here, we come out of there. Right. I also need to make sure that the player can fit through this tiny thing. Would be a shame if he doesn't, and I miss it. See, these faded ones, the faded tools is what I use to blend various elements together with the faded blackness. Really? This thing's at the bottom layer. Come on. There we go. Another thing that I'm not quite sure how is, how am I gonna live stream / record the process of creating music for this, because that is going to be a part of this course, and I need to find a way to record the screen on that machine, but that machine has no HDMI outputs. So I can't use the capture box, and I doubt that the computer's powerful enough to handle heavy music processing and recording at the same time. So that's something I'm gonna have to figure out. Okay, so we're all the way over here now. Let me take a look at this. Okay, so I can get through there. Right. Would make sense. I also need to make sure that when the collision happens, there's a certain velocity that the player object needs to exceed. Whoops. And the reason is that I don't want the flashlight to glitch upon every single slow impact. Only the fast ones. There we go. We can get through here. There's the camera object. Okay, you can actually see the ceiling, so this should be fine. So the size of this thing. Why can we erase like this? But we can only place tiles in the grid size-like manner. See, I have to do this if I want to paint them in. Kind of annoying. All right. Let's finish this up, shall we? Finish this up, he says. There might also be a good chance that I substitute this ground for something more ground looking. Something more brownish, probably. Okay, let me get the ground in first, then we'll do the ceiling. I think I should put in a system where if all the players die, then the entire level will basically reset. know what? You know what? I might even want to deactivate some of these objects if they're outside of certain radius outside of the camera size. Like maybe 3,000, 4,000 pixels. I think I want to deactivate some of these things. But in a nutshell, we seem to be kind of getting there. Okay, so that's the ground. Now I need to get the ceiling done. What fun. You know, so far, the core mechanics that I've written up are all combat and physics related, and I have yet to put in any sort of combat and physics challenge in this level. I feel like I should put something in here. Nah. This has to be this guy. Actually post something to the Discord. I wanna. Oh, it'll be easier if I just open Discord in here. It'll be a lot faster that way. I might actually place it like that, maybe? Come on. Huh. Why am I not receiving anything? In terms of the chat connections. Weird. Hey, there's Janko. There's the comment section. For some reason my, oh man, was the chat not working at all? Well, that sucks. I missed on all the comments. Okay. Multiplayer, as in, you're gonna have to put some context into it. This is the first message I'm seeing. Because the chat application wasn't loading any of the messages, so I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm new here. Battle Zeus. How's it going? Okay. This guy I'm gonna have to substitute for the half fade. Okay. So, good lord, man. Does it take a long freaking time to decorate this? It's perhaps my least favorite thing to do. Just getting this level up and frickin' running. Just I like programming. I don't like doing this, just populating the level with stuff. That's not my favorite part. It's a little bit more fun in RTAG Rise because that's when you're creating, you know, challenge maps. In here, you're just And this is just inherent to the type of project I'm doing. Ah, boy. All right. What are we doing here? We're still doing the ceiling stuff. Okay, so now I can take over with something like this. And push this wall up. I feel like I should just, if this can be an atmospheric level, then there should just be a lot of scripted atmospheric events, like rocks falling off when, you know, people get, players get close by to certain levels. Mostly just trigger event stuff. Right? And almost... Oh, Jesus Christ. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to appropriate some sort of a conveyor belt type of system, pipeline, development pipeline. So, what's everybody up to today? Okay. Okay. I'm just going around and fixing up some of these areas. Some of these more troublesome areas. There we go. Fixing the tiles, fixing all of this stuff. That's a single level, man. This is the amount of time that it takes to make a single level. You have to really consider how much time you're going to be putting into this. Oh my goodness. Okay. Here we go, and here we go. So I can do that, and... Okay. So... I need to get this thing. Here we go. Oh geez. Okay. Yeah, we're getting to the close to the point where I said screw this. Oh hey, there's a missing ceiling. Okay, I think this is the last thing that I need to put in. It's just this ceiling here. Okay. That is this level all set up. So what I can kind of learn from this experience is that if it's gonna take this much time to decorate one level with the appropriate collision objects, then I should be pretty certain about what it is that I'm building. So I should get these level designs out as a first and foremost thing. I should be certain of what it is that I'm putting in this level. So far, so good, though. Uh-oh. Hey. What happens here? What's going on? What? No, did I do the thing? Wait, what the? Wait a minute. Did I do the thing? Did I goof it up? Can I select all? No. No, that's not the case. It could be that the physics are just disabled. Let's see, object terrain. Let's check what we're doing here. Okay, all of these things need to be apparent with this terrain object. Is that the case? Yes. Okay, here's what I'll have to do. Object black. No, not black. Oh yeah, this, no. I need to go to the draw and event. And I'll need to draw text, XY. We'll say physics plus string phi active. All right. It can still collide with all of this. Maybe there's a limit of how many physics objects there can be. And I've hit that limit. Could that be the case? Do you think? Physics 0. Hey, look at that. But it just says that physics are 0. Why does it say physics 0? What if we go over here in object terrain and we disable the disabling of physics? Come on now. Oh, physics 1. So there's something wrong with the code that checks these physics. Okay. So Vx, Vy. Actually. Maybe instead of checking the square, oh, physics position X, X, Y, X. Man. Such dumb mistakes. Okay. Hey Jenko, are you still in the stream? You want to test this out? There's a little defect there. It's running pretty well, actually, considering everything. I mean, yeah, right now there's not much happening logic-wise. So of course it would be running fairly smoothly. And there's the exit. Let's go back. I love this flashlight type. It's off center. The best thing is that I can actually record the positioning data with the player and use that on any other object. All the bumps can be recorded as well. That's the funniest thing. Whoops. Uh-oh. This is a pretty lengthy level, actually. Now that I'm kind of looking at it, it's not looking too bad. It's very empty, though. There's not a whole lot happening here. I'm gonna have to put in some of those scripted events. And I'm pretty sure scripted events like boulder falling could be... they could be done on the client side as well. So all you have to do... Well, no, that wouldn't work. Because boulders would probably hit the players, which means that it would have to hit the right player, and all that stuff would have to be properly set up. There we go, there's this level. Area. And there's the boulder. Nice. It's working. Pretty good. So that took me what? About an hour? Just to decorate the level. An hour and a half? Yeah, so it's gonna take a little while. Okay, I need to increase the angular damping on this, on the player object. 0.5 maybe. It's way too wiggly. Here we go. Now you can control it a little bit better. I might decrease it just by a tiny bit. So this was 0.3, let's go to 0.4. .5 seems a little too stiff. Okay, here we go. Now we're talking. Okay, this is actually a lot easier to control. Nice. I like it. Oh, jeez. It's this guy. Well, could use some vines in here, stuff like that. Oh. Oh no, I went in head first. I am stuck. Okay. Beautiful. Okay, let me take a break. I'll come back and we'll continue working on this. Alright? Beautiful.